It's really all about just letting my body do the work and not so much thinking about it. You know what I mean? I feel that's what makes you dangerous. If you have to think about it, like those are like you're putting seconds in between all their steps. So I just want to go in there.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now. All right, Johnny. The first thing I want to get into is, did you see the news about the slap fight league guys? They're all getting busted for like cocaine and all this. Like, were you? I was surprised that they're testing these guys. Like, what would you test? Like PEDs for slapping?
Yeah, I actually seen that a little earlier ago when they posted that. Uh, yeah, I mean they're under a athletic commission, so obviously they would be getting tested. But yeah, I don't. I mean, it wouldn't. It's no brainer. Those guys were on steroids and I don't know other narcotics because to ease the pain away a little bit. I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah,
I mean, it's kind of a newer sport, so I don't know what exactly the protocols are. So maybe there's some. I don't know. Maybe they thought they wouldn't get caught because they're not fighting, but it's still somewhat contact. So uh, it could benefit, but yeah, I thought it was funny. But for the amount of money those guys are making, how are they buying that cocaine, man? I know those guys are on cocaine. Cocaine ain't cheap. They ain't
yeah.
making that much money. Where are they getting that money from?
Who knows, man? Who knows? Would you consider them an athlete though? Is that an athletic endeavor?
Oh man, a brawler? Can they be considered a brawler? I don't know if I would really call that. The term athlete. It's crazy to me that like there's some people they consider themselves athletes. You know what I mean? Like CrossFitters, they think they're athletes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I don't know. I feel athletes more like somebody. I don't know for sure. Like combat sports, they're athletes.
Mhm.
You know, like
Oh, for sure.
baseball, football, basketball. Those are athletes. You know what I mean? But other sports, I haven't really like. I don't know. I mean, slap. I mean, it's hard to say athlete when those guys are like fat, out of shape. You know, I mean, they don't look like they're working out. They're doing the same shit. I feel
Yeah.
like there should be protocols to being an athlete. You know what I mean? If you're doing this and this, then okay, maybe you're an athlete. But if you're not really doing that, you're just showing up to slap somebody or that kind of stuff. I don't know if you're. I don't think you're an athlete. In my opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversy around the terminology of athlete, right? But without a doubt, you're an athlete, man, and you're a fighter, and you go from fighting in the apex, now you're back in an arena on a pay-per-view card, which is always good. The last time you were on a pay-per-view card, I believe UFC 265. Outside of winning your fight, anything highly memorable about that whole experience?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a different vibe there. You know what I mean? It's a little different. Like the way you get the ceremonial weigh-ins, that was pretty like cool. Like I remember that, like being up there weighing in, seeing all the people. You know what I mean? You're up there like fuck, I'm fucking yacked, and you got all these people screaming and shit. That and I think going to the venue too. The venue was bigger. When I came out, that was like memorable. Like when I came out, like I just remember telling myself like it was just like a reinsurance. This is my time. You know what I mean? Like you could hear the music was loud. Like the people, like they were trying to reach for you, going crazy. I was like, this is the UFC experience right here. Like this is what it's really about. That making that walk into the octagon. You're in there. The lights are like super bright in there. The cage is bigger. It's like a void. It was weird, you know what I mean? But it was like that's what I remember the most, and that's what I'm looking forward to this fight.
For sure. And you're going to face off against Daniel Santos. What are your thoughts on him and his style of fighting?
He's an aggressive fighter. I don't think he's that technical fighter. I think his biggest strength he's aggressive and he comes forward like fuck it, you know what I mean? And he's willing to take damage. He's willing to crash his car into your car to hurt you. So that's what makes someone dangerous. But it's not a very smart way of fighting because if you're willing to crash your own body, that means you're able to take a lot of damage too. So I feel like because of his fighting style, there's a lot of damage that could be inflicted on him, and I'm looking to do that on this fight. So it's like he's almost giving me the route to victory by doing that. So that's what I'm looking to do. Like, go ahead, come forward, and I'm going to take advantage of that and put a hurting on him.
he likes to do that spinning shit as well, you know? He likes to spin a lot, you know, and that puts you in vulnerable positions, especially someone that can close the distance real quick when you turn your back.
So he's a spinner? Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, he's a spinner, right? I don't know what that means, but he's a spinner.
Nah, man. I mean, the guy, yeah, he likes to spin a lot. Uh, I mean that's always dangerous, but I mean, MMA is very unpredictable. There's so much shit that could happen in there. That's why you got to show up in top peak shape, mindset right, physical, everything. And I'm ready for whatever he has to bring. You know what I mean? And I know he likes to throw all that crazy stuff, wild stuff, but I'm aware of it. I've trained for it, so you know, it's my job to show up and not make those mistakes, and I'm not gonna let him capitalize on any of that.
Your last fight against Shaolin, unanimous decision win. When you look back at that performance, what do you feel like won you that fight? Was it more of the game planning, execution, or was it just more of like in-fight decisions that you made?
I think honestly, what allowed me to win that fight was being in the present. You know what I mean? Obviously, I had a game plan, everything, but it was really just showing up and being in the present, being focused in the moment, being myself. And I think that's what really won me. I know that may sound like broad or cliche, but I was really present because when I showed up to the arena, I was in the back. I remember like I was doing things I'd never done in other fights before, and it just felt very comfortable. You know what I mean? Like I was just letting go and just being myself, like saying things out loud, and it felt very natural too. Like I was just saying it. And then in the cage too, when I was in there, right, like when they were announcing us, the corners are behind you. And then my cousin was telling me stuff, and I was like, and I was talking to him uh, as they were walking over there, like, hey, I got this, whatever. And like they were about to start the fight, but I was in there like talking to him. So I was like, it just felt very comfortable. And then I looked like at the ref, like they're about to start, and it was just like, man, this feels like another day in the gym sparring. That's what it really felt like. And so I think that was the big takeaway, just showing up, being in the present.
That's something that a lot of fighters talk about is, you know, not having any kind of distraction while you're in the fight because it's a highly dangerous occupation, man. One little like lapse in, anything, you can get knocked out, you could get submitted, you know what I mean? The fight is over. So it is something that I feel like fighters find is it like a clarity type of thing while you're in the cage?
Yeah, it's like I don't know, it's hard to explain, but I know very well it's dangerous going in there. You know, what I mean, my opponent's looking to hurt me. Uh, That's why I was like, fuck him. You know what I mean? I'm trying to hurt him. Like, I don't give a fuck about what his goals are. Like, he don't give a fuck about mine. He's in there trying to do the same thing. That's why I don't understand these guys. They're fake ass kissing. They want to hug, touch each other, touch the glove a million times. Like, nah, that's just more like an insecurity thing. Like, you're trying to make that guy your friend. Like, I know very well that guy's not my friend. And afterwards, we could be cool and everything. And even if not, I don't care. I'm on a mission. So that guy's in the way of everything I want to accomplish in the sport. You know what I mean? My money. You know what I mean? Like I win, I make more money. Uh, just a lot of things. And for me to move up in the division, like he's in my way, so I gotta look to take him out.
In that fight, you out wrestled a wrestler. Do you think that moving forward, your opponents, it will affect how they game plan against you?
I feel like most of them are probably thinking like I don't want to go to the ground with that guy. Uh, I think that's probably most of them. Even though the last fight was mostly striking, I defended the takedowns and I also took my opponent down. If I had more time, I believe I would have finished him on the floor. But we didn't have much time on the ground. Uh, Most of it was like I said, I was striking, moving, jabbing, one twos. Uh, but I really felt like once I got to the ground, like man, I should have took him down like sooner. Like it feels very effortless here. 'Cause I think a lot of guys fear my grappling, but I was able to show striking in the last fight, so that just shows like I'm evolving, and guys got to worry about more than just my grappling. So I think it's gonna make me a harder guy to fight with because now they're thinking, okay, he can strike now, and they're worried about going to the ground with me, and then they're not gonna know what to do.
Before your last fight, you suffered your first stoppage loss and you're coming back from that. Were there any demons that you had to battle, like mentally, going into that fight?
Yeah, I mean, it was just more after that fight, like I had to really sit down with myself and be honest with myself. You know, I mean, no one around, just me. I had to really get in my thoughts, my mind, and really understand who I am, what I'm trying to do, and what I'm willing to do to accomplish my goals. And I feel like it was just like that little that that little like talk to myself is what I had to do, and it got me back on track. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people, like, they get finished for the first time. Sometimes they don't recover the same. They don't come back the same. But for me, I don't feel any different. You know, I mean, someone asked me like, "What was it like when you were undefeated versus now? What's the difference?" And I said, honestly, I don't feel any different. You know what I mean? It's just wiser. I feel like a better fighter, but I don't feel like really any different. You know what I mean? To me, I'm a sore loser. So when that happens, like I want to come back better and prove to myself. You know what I mean? I don't really care about proving to other people. It's more to myself that what I'm able to do. Because every day is a battle with the mind. So you got to keep the mind in check. If you control your mind and make your mind one with your body, I feel like nothing really matters in life. Like you're gonna be winning no matter what.
If my memory serves me correct, you fought out your contract, so obviously you re-signed with the UFC. How did that whole process go with you?
Yeah, it was good. Like I knew I would re-sign with them after the last fight. I was more focused on, like I said, being in the present, and I knew everything else was gonna fall into place. But yeah, after the last fight, I signed the contract, and so this is the first fight on that contract.
All right. And that fight was in early November. What did the rest of the year look like for you? Holidays and whatnot? Did you enjoy yourself?
Enjoy the holidays, eating, and all that stuff. But I was still training. You know, I mean, I'm always in the gym training, trying to get better. And I was hoping to fight in March, but it didn't. Nothing went through, and it ended up being May. So, but yeah, during all that, I was just training a lot, getting better. Training here at Sequence in Norco, California, and also at Entram Gym in Tijuana.
So when did training camp officially start for you for this fight?
When did that start? I mean, we're in April, like in March, I believe.
Mhm.
I was already training a lot beforehand, but it just really dialed into like fight camp Pacific. Uh, and I think first week of March.
And any tweaks you felt like you needed to make from the last fight, what you learned in that one to give you an edge heading into this one?
Yeah, I think you can always learn from your performances, you know what I mean? And I study the fight a lot. Okay, I could do this better, you know what I mean? Maybe I should keep my hand here, or when I shoot, shoot better. And just a lot of things, I'm always looking to pinpoint things maybe other people don't see, but I know myself, and those are things like I always try to locate so I don't make those mistakes. Or maybe I'm throwing my jab wrong or my hook wrong. Okay, I need to fix this so the next fight doesn't come out the same and my opponent can't capitalize on it.
Do you remember your fights clearly, like from off memory, like being in there, or do you have to watch it again to kind of see like what exactly happened during the rounds? Does it feel like one just whole ball of violence, or does it can you separate it round by round?
Yeah, I mean, I remember like all my fights, like when I'm in there, but obviously, like when I'm able to watch it on the outside, I could see more. You know what I mean? Because when I'm in there, it's just more of a focus game. You know what I mean? So I remembered like details, but also like I'm in a different mindset when I'm in there. It's more focused. It's like you're making slight movements that got to be quick. And but when you're sitting back watching it, I could analyze it more. Okay, now I see what like my opponent's seeing. So that's why I like watching it again, because when I'm watching myself, I can sit back and pretend like I'm my opponent, my future opponent, because that's how they're going to be watching it as well.
Who's working with you to kind of, I guess, give you the look, like the Santos look? Is there anybody in particular?
Yeah, I mean, down at Entram, there's a couple guys down there. Mauricio Dragon Nieves, he's been helping me a lot. Great striker from Argentina. He fights in Looks Fighting. He's been helping me a lot. Christian Quinones, he's in the UFC. He's been helping me a lot. My cousin Alan Superglue, and then there's another guy Molo Gonzalez. He's been helping me a lot. Those four guys. Everyone's been a big part, but those guys put in taking the time to really help me out.
What do you want to show, man? How do you want to perform at UFC 288?
Yeah, I just want to really go out there and be myself, like always. I think that's the most important. Be real and be myself. I feel like when I'm myself and just let all my tools, let my game show, I feel like nobody could beat me, and that's what I got to do. Just be on point, be focused, and show up in the present. I feel my skill set will speak for itself, and it's really all about just letting my body do the work and not so much thinking about it. You know what I mean? I feel that's what makes you dangerous. If you have to think about it, like those are like you're putting seconds in between all their steps. So I just want to go in there, be in the present, and let my body and mind flow and do the talking.
The last time we spoke, you gave your prediction on the fight between Aljamain Sterling and TJ Dillashaw, and you picked it correct. I gotta ask you, man, main event: Aljamain Sterling versus Henry Cejudo. I feel like this is a even crazier puzzle to figure out. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't. It's crazy. This fight, I was leading Cejudo honestly when it got announced. I thought Cejudo. I was thinking, okay, how's Aljo going to get him down? I feel Cejudo's a better striker. Um, but then now I don't. I think I honestly I'm changing. I have a slight change. I think Sterling gets it done. I think the size is going to be too much for Cejudo. Because Sterling knows how to use his weight well when he's grappling as well. That's a big thing too. You know what I mean? When you're grappling someone that's naturally bigger than you, it's harder. You got to work harder. And the wrestlers also, that's what there's weight classes. Wrestlers don't do good usually when they're going up against a bigger guy that knows how to wrestle. Even though Cejudo is a better wrestler, but Sterling no slouch in wrestling. So I think his wrestling is going to be good enough to pose a threat to Cejudo, and I think the size is going to play a factor. So I think Sterling gets it done by decision.
All right, April 6th, UFC 288, New Jersey. Make sure to follow Johnny on social media. You see it right on the screen. Johnny, thank you so much, man, for the time. All the best in the fight. And yeah, man, hopefully you get like two or three more this year, man. Hopefully you stay active.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate you, man, for having me on, and yeah, hopefully we'll worry about this fight and then we'll get those other fights.
Mhm.
That's what I'm looking forward to do, get more fights in there. And I'm excited to be over there in New Jersey and the East Coast. It's my first time on the East Coast. I've been in Miami, but it's going to be cool over there. So I'm excited. Let's go.